In a humble stable in Bethlehem, under the cover of night, a baby named Jesus was born to Mary, fulfilling ancient promises of a Messiah's arrival. Not long after, wise men from the east, guided by a star, came to honor him with precious gifts, recognizing him as the promised king. But Jesus' life was threatened early by King Herod, prompting his family to flee to Egypt for safety. After Herod's death, they returned to Nazareth, where Jesus grew up and trained to be a carpenter. As a man, Jesus' journey began at the Jordan River, where John the Baptist baptized him, marking the start of his mission. He then spent 40 days in the desert, resisting temptations from Satan, showing his commitment to God's path. Jesus called ordinary people, fishermen and others, to follow him, forming a group of disciples. His first public miracle was at a wedding in Cana, turning water into wine, hinting at his divine nature. He then shared the Sermon on the Mount, teaching about love, kindness, and the way to live. Jesus performed many miracles, like feeding 5,000 people with just 5 loaves and 2 fish, walking on water, healing the blind, and even bringing a man named Lazarus back from the dead, showing his power over nature and death. One of his most significant moments was entering Jerusalem on a donkey, welcomed by crowds as a king, but in a way that showed humility, not power. There, he made a stand against corruption in the temple, insisting it be a place of true worship. During his last meal with his disciples, the Last Supper, Jesus shared bread and wine, symbols of his upcoming sacrifice. That night, in a garden called Gethsemane, he faced the reality of his death, but chose to follow God's will. Jesus was then betrayed by one of his own, Judas, for 30 pieces of silver, leading to his trial and unjust condemnation by Pontius Pilate. He was crucified, a death he accepted to forgive humanity's sins, asking God to forgive those who hurt him. But the story doesn't end in death. Jesus rose from the dead 3 days later, proving his power over sin and death, appearing to his followers and giving them hope. This act, his resurrection, is the cornerstone of Christian faith, offering salvation to all who believe.